These moments taught me to express, that each of us has something to say, and we have a yearning of a voice to be heard. 6.5 years ago, at the age of 15, I finally allowed myself to speak about one important detail of my life. These moments taught me about worthiness. They allowed me to take a risk on my life, to share my voice and my thoughts, to open myself to the universe and celebrate. I remember having a friend who came out as a lesbian. I was not out at the time, but took note of the dramatic transformation of her life. She embodied the spirit of herself, making the decisions that benefited her, and nobody was going to interfere. I wanted that. It was the boost of energy I needed to take control of my life. Too long did I yield caution to the wind, allowing it to sway my actions, to hide away my secret that is so obvious. I wanted to be free, so that my actions were in conjunction with my being, that I was worthy. I am worthy of being a human. This is my life. 24/7, 365. This is my life, and nobody else can live in it. I became aware of myself, of the words I speak, the actions I take, and the energies I project. I understood that they all become influence, and in order to take hold of it in my most vulnerable state, I had to reach for an echo of what I put out. I hoped that that would be reciprocated, and what it boiled down to was to be accepted. If I threw a large cloud of glitter, I wanted someone to dance in it. If I cried pains of fear, I wanted someone to bring comfort. If I came out as gay, I wanted to be validated, that I am here and I exist, that I have the support and the love from those around me, and that is what I received. These moments taught me to follow my intuition, that if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. That most times an accident is a lesson, teaching a way to release. I recall living in a toxic environment I created for myself. Intuition told me to leave, to go against the grain of what I perceived to be happiness. I became attached to people inanimate to my life. I was complacent in moving forward. I took many walks, many drives, and many trips, and each time reality slapped me in the face. The ultimate life lesson came about a year ago, after I came back from my study abroad in Barcelona. I dealt with a person whose intentions were awful to my well-being. They made me feel unworthy, a nobody, and alone in this world. I battled severe depression, anxiety, and unhealthy vomiting, and said no more. I was smart enough to remove myself from the situation, literally saving my own life physically. Mentally, I'm still recovering. What allowed me to move forward was a minor car accident during one of my trips of escape. When the accident happened, I had this overwhelming sense of calmness. I knew everything was going to be fine. These moments taught me about forgiveness, that holding on to a moment past is restrictive to the moment current. I forgave myself for thinking that the suicide I heavily contemplated 7 to 8 years ago was taboo to speak about and should never be addressed. I could never do that to my mother. I forgave myself for hating my sexuality. I forgave myself for being in hiding. I forgave myself for allowing others to persuade me. And I forgave myself for thinking I can never be proud of who I am. These moments I learned to love. That the greatest gift I could ever give is a piece of my good fortune, and I am wealthy in my amounts of gratitude for the people I surround myself with, for my family and the joy they bring me, for the opportunities I've been allotted by Texas A&M and by coming out, living the life I am intended to live. Sometimes we walk past joy without recognizing where it comes from. For myself, it is knowing that I've lived a very fortunate life, and cursed is the day I forget that. These moments taught me about an awareness of my purpose. I exist to no longer help others, rather it's my duty to be of service. This realization came about fairly recently, although the notion has always existed. An old friend of mine stood in the light of courage and revealed that they are HIV positive. For me, they are no different because of it. My purpose is to stand by their side and the likes of others, no matter the situation, big or small, wide or narrow. They, like myself 6.5 years ago, have a yearning of a voice to be heard, and I am here to listen. To allow others to realize that the best they could be starts in the moment they begin to bask in their own glory. I learned from them more than they learned from me, and those moments brought about my true self. And when I felt real and genuine, I understood I wasn't a shadow of what I could be. I was the embodiment of who I really am, and I am worthy of being myself, and you are too.